Hey, welcome back. Hey, if this is your first time joining us, we are a small family farm in southeast Kansas on 9 acres trying to make ourselves more self-sustaining, make this profitable, and overall have a good time. And thanks for joining us today. If you like what you see, please subscribe and like this video. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Well, it's a busy week for us during the week around here. Between me going to work, Mama going to work, and watching the farm boss, being it's summertime, while her Mama and Dad work, we spend a lot of time getting ready for the farmer's market now that happens on Thursdays. So I needed to pickle some more Cajun pickled eggs to take to the farmer's market. So I thought I would talk while I do a little bit of that. So the same pickled egg recipe that I already showed you when I said that we had way too many eggs, we use that same pickling solution for this. I'll leave a link and an iCard up here that all you have to do is click on, and it'll take you to that video if you're unfamiliar with how to make pickled eggs. So we got our water bath canner here. We just got done sanitizing it, boiling it with some vinegar in it to clean it out and everything. I've got my sanitized jars here. I've already put my eggs in there, my hard-boiled eggs. I use Old Bay, Slap Your Mama. So Old Bay, I use Old Bay seasoning. I use crushed red pepper flakes, minced garlic, fresh, or if you get the jarred in the store, we use fresh. I just get a basic pickling spice, store-bought pickling spice to use, and I also use this really hot stuff called Slap Your Mama. So I put that in with them, and then my vinegar. I put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there because it kind of gives it a kick, that apple cider does. Pack your jars with eggs. I'm using half-pint jars. It takes about 6 eggs to a half pint. Put those 6 eggs in there, 5 to 6, depending on the size of your eggs. I put all my ingredients in with the jar using a funnel. Then I just bring my pickling spice to a boil. I shut it off. I let it start cooling down because, oh, you need to put pickling salt in there. Like I said, check out that first video I had, and it goes more detail into how to make it. So once you get that brine, then you just fill the jar up with brine to, let me fill this one up. I fill those jars up to this large band right here that your band goes against, and that's about the right amount of headspace for it. Ball manufacturing no longer recommends that their lids be heated or sanitized before you can with them. Wash and sanitize them, but they no longer recommend that heating process so that they're hot before we put our lids on. So we wash, sanitize our lids, dry them off real good, wipe them with some vinegar, and then we go ahead and put them on. Also, always remember to wipe that rim with a clean cloth and some vinegar to make sure that you have a good sealing process on this. So it's like hectic on the farm right now. I had to get eggs pickled for our farmer's market because we already pre-sold some. Mama's working in the kitchen gardens, the container gardens, raised bed gardens, but my pigs need to get moved. They pretty much used up the spot they are, so Rooster and I have started building new fence. So I'm going to take you along while I'm setting up and building a new fence. We use cattle panels for our pig pens instead of electric fence. We're so close to rock that we fight grounding, getting a grounding rod deep enough, and then we get dry. So we usually fight electric fences. I'm trying to incorporate more and more of them, but the thing about the cattle panels are when Mama and I go to work, the cattle panels, the pigs don't get out of them. We can't afford for our hogs to get out on all of our neighbors. For one, it's not very neighborly. For two, that's a lot of finances going down the road and off into someone else's pasture. And they're kind of hard to get back because there's plenty for them to eat. Yes, they will come to a feed bucket, but pigs are smart. If you're trying to get them caught in a pen, they're going to get pretty wise to it pretty quick. So we just don't ever give them the opportunity to really get random loose and run wild all over the place. We give them plenty of space to be in with plenty of green to eat, and we move them around that way. The problem is with all the rains we've had, the spot that they were in had plenty of room, didn't have a lot of green to begin with, and then we turned off hot instantly, so of course they started making a waller. So I want to get them out of there, get them on some fresh green where they won't disturb the ground quite so much. So that's why I'm building this pen. Pigs are a little bit different than, say, cattle or sheep or goats. It doesn't take very much wiring down this thing to keep in those larger ruminant animals. Of course, a pig's a little more destructive. It does a lot of work with its nose. We don't have coonies or pasture-raised pigs. Most of ours are the larger scale domestic, more common pigs. A lot of them come from show pig operations that were no sales, wouldn't meet the show ring. So we buy them, feed them out, and things along that line. So we have a lot of Hampshires, Yorks. We love down-eared pigs. So Durocs, Chesters, Poland Chinas. That's kind of our breed. And then we're trying to move towards the Hereford breed. So what I do when I come to a corner like this, rooster drives me a post. I take the wire, I go around my two panels, I get it pulled together the best I can, and make sure that you're on top of the bar. If I go below this bar, say I went here with my wire, then that would allow them to pick the panel up more. I want to be above that bar so it prevents them from hiking that panel up. And just as easy as that, a few turns, we're good to go. The nice thing is if you take care and keep all of these wires, so when we take apart the pen, we unscrew the wire, we hang it on the panel, and when we move the panel, we have wires. Truly, you want to know how to keep pigs in a pen? It's not make it like a fortress. It's not heavy electricity. Keep them full. If they're hungry, they're going to try to get out. If they're not hungry, guess what? They're going to stay in the pen. So I thought I'd take a break from building the fence. We've been at it for a little while here. I wanted to show you guys some of the new animals on the homestead. I was going to try to bring you some of them when they were little bitty. I just didn't get enough footage time. But here we go. So aren't they cute? Yeah, that's the whole reason why we got them, is because they're cute. No. The reason why we got these, I did have them last year on the homestead, farmstead, on 9 Acre Farm. It's quail. If you don't know what that is, that's Coturnix quail. These are the white Coturnix quail. Some people call them a Texas A&M quail. They will get big. They, from hatch to 8 weeks old, they're ready to butcher. They have good egg production. They are little bitty eggs because they are quail eggs. They're pretty self-sufficient. I keep them with water, keep some feed out to them. I'm gonna do a little work on my feeder and my waterer. I'm gonna go switch over to a cup waterer system. But this works for now. These guys are about 3 weeks old. So you can see they're already got some size and got feathers. I moved them out here to my outer quail coop. So this outer part, they can be out here in the sunshine, not direct sunshine. It's got a roof. It does have screen on top of here, screened all the way around and the floor. So some people are worried about the wire. They have a chance to be on the wire. All their good, squat comes out the back end, hopefully out here when they're doing all their eating and drinking. There is a spot here that they can get on a board for a little relief, but also if we come to this end of the coop, this is where they have their dust bath and where they can get in and out of the weather. Now, in the past, I've put sand in there. They really like the sand. I didn't have any sand. I had some dry dirt and stuff out of the barn, so we put it in there. They're having a lot of fun dust bathing in it. Typically, they will lay their eggs in there. With quail, you do not need a nesting box. They won't use it. Will you ever have a chance that a quail use a nesting box? Yeah, you will. Once in a very great while, you'll have a quail that uses a nesting box. For the most part, wherever they're at, that's just kind of where they drop an egg. But we really enjoyed the quail last year when we had them. We like quail. We like eating them. We like hunting them. We like raising them. So this is going to become a new enterprise on the farm. We're going to start breeding our own quail, hatching our own eggs. We're going to start pickling some of the eggs. We're mainly want to start raising grow outs. So hatching them and grow them out to 8 weeks old and butchering them. They're not a bobwhite. And actually, that's okay because a bobwhite is smaller than these guys. These guys are bigger. They're going to have, they'll probably end up at about 6 ounce carcass on them. And I really enjoy them. I want to catch one of them crowing for you on here. A quail crow is probably the neatest little sound, I think. It's more like what you think of a bug chirp or something like that. It's not, Tom, the rooster and all of them that's constantly crowing in the background of my videos. I bet you've heard some of our other quail crow and you didn't notice it. So in the past, last year I raised farrow quail and brown wilds, and giants. And these just happen to be available at a bird auction that I went to. They sold them as chicks. They had 12 chicks that they sold. I bought them and we've raised them up to this point so far. So I call quail the gateway drug to homesteading. If you're starting out small and you're doing your gardens and everything along that line and really honing your skills with gardening and you're ready to move towards raising your own protein, this is perfect. You can build one of these little coops. I built it out of scrap. And it doesn't take very long to build it. There's all kinds of plans all over the internet, and I am going to be building another one of these. So I'll try to record it so that I can show you, but there's plenty of plans out there how to build this little coop. But what I like about quail is they are small, they're quiet. You can do this in a backyard, in a housing development in town, along with your raised bed gardens or in-ground garden. You can have a little quail coop like this. If you imagine, if you raise a dozen quail and feed them out every 8 weeks, think about how many meals you can replace with good home-raised protein that you raised yourself, feeding organic feed. Not to mention the benefit of everything, their droppings, and composting that and putting back to feed those gardens. All of the byproduct from cleaning them, put that in your compost to help out your compost. It's a gateway drug, guys, and I'm telling you, they are so much fun. They have way more personality than chickens do. They get to know you real well, and when you come out to take care of them, they'll all come running to the fence. They want to come see you, and it doesn't take much to make them happy. A lot of people think that they need to be in a great big pen and an aviary and all that kind of stuff, and I have started last year. I had them in a bigger pen. Honestly, it was more detrimental to them. Now, a lot of people think that this is a problem, that this is low. Actually, you need it to be low, because quail, when they get alarmed, their reaction is not to run first. Their reaction is to jump straight in the air. And I mean at like Mach Jesus speed. Like a firecracker. And the problem is that when they do that, they hit their head and they break their neck if it's too tall. So you need it to be short so they can't get that much momentum up there to hurt themselves. After you take care of them a little while, honestly, they don't do a lot of jumping for us unless they get scared. They're pretty quiet. If you can hear that, it's about as loud as they get. And they talk to each other and they'll talk to you. I really like them. Really like my quail. Look for a whole lot more quail to be raised on the 9 acres.